Hey y'all, Big Tim here. Thanks for tuning in for this extra special Labor Day edition of Old School and Bass with Big Tim. So, we've had a lot happening in the past couple weeks. We've had the FLW Cup down at Lake Hamilton, and Brian Thrift finally winning the big one. Hooray for Brian. And then we just had Edwin Evers win the Red Crest for the Bass Pro Tour. The Red Crest? Is that sponsored by a toothpaste? I never did understand the Red Crest and why they're doing it. And why they're calling it Red Crest. I know why they're doing it. No, I actually know why it's called Red Crest, but they're advertising their emblem, their logo. And I would have thought they'd come up with a better name for it. I mean, I don't know. Pick some of the sponsors. The Bass Pro Tour chalice, I don't know, or swords. Hey, you get a sword for the winner. I don't know, something. But congratulations to Edwin Evers. Really didn't watch it, didn't have much interest in it. Still don't have much interest in it. For me, the guys that went to the Bass Pro Tour, I'm sorry to say, they may as well retired because to me, they're obscure anymore. I'll tune in and look, and I guess occasionally if I'll find one of the things on TV, which by the way, I have yet to see a Bass Pro Tour TV show. I know you can watch them on YouTube and everything else, but there's so many other choices on YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I like to DVR stuff on TV for when I sit down late at night and just kick back. And I would probably watch some of those on there because I still watch some of the MLF stuff. But man, I just don't know. To me, like I said, it's kind of obscure. I still look and see who won what. I still look at the baits that were used and stuff like that, but I really don't have much interest. I know a lot of guys have told me that, they tune into the last couple of days because watching it live on the internet is pretty exciting, but I mean, I don't have the time for that. Most of the time I'm working. It's kind of hard to do that. So I really hope that the Bass Pro Tour does something different next year and grabs my attention, because otherwise, like I said, all those guys that I grew up watching, that I love to watch, have kind of faded in obscurity. And I'm afraid that maybe some of them may have jeopardized their whole careers. Some of the big guys, the big names like Ike and Ellie and Kevin Van Dam and all that, doesn't matter. Those guys can probably come back and maintain some of their viewership, whatever you'd say. But some of the younger guys that went over, they may never be able to, rebound from this. They've lost some of their notoriety. And I hope that's not the case. I hope they can really make it and make it worthwhile. I'd like to see it become a big thing, but right now I'm just not interested in it. And it also could be the fact that it's summertime. I mean, we also just had the Bass Elite Series on, what is it, Cuyahoga, I think it is. I was kind of interested in that because at least they're largemouth bass fishing. Some guys are smallmouth fishing. But when they went up to the St. Lawrence, as much as I would love to go up there and fish and catch a bunch of those smallmouth. But to watch guys catching a bunch of fish with a drop shot, to me, they may as well be bluegill fishing or crappie fishing. It just doesn't hold my interest. I want to see big fish. I want to see big baits. I mean, if I want to see little fish, hey, let's go down to Thursday night. That's Little Fish Central. The Ohio River is Little Fish Central, and just doesn't hold my interest. That's what I was talking to somebody the other day. I was hoping to have taken a couple of days off. A good friend of mine was off all week, and we were talking about maybe going up to Lake Erie and going into one of the bays and catching some largemouth. A friend of ours tells us that you can go up there and just pick around in the grass and weeds and lily pads and whatnot with a frog and just catch a ton of fish. He says, you're not going to catch anything big, just 3s and 4s. Sign me up, right? Because I've been fishing all summer long for these pound and a half, maybe a 2-pound fish on the Ohio River. And I could really use some 3 and 4 pound redemption. But as it worked out, there's not enough people where we work to fill in the gaps if I were to take off. So we didn't take the extra day to go. I think I am going to try to make it in September. But You know, they're just gonna have to figure it out at work because I need some big fish therapy. And for me, right now, a 3 or 4 pounder is a big fish. It's just been so horrible. I can't. I actually don't know if I've caught anything over 5 pounds this year. I don't think I have. I may not have caught anything over 4. I can't remember if I did. But yeah, I need to catch something of decent size. Largemouth is fine. Smallmouth would be fine. I wouldn't mind catching some 2 pound spots too, but 3s and 4s would be really incredible. But that's coming up, hopefully, in September. Also got a veterans tournament in September. I don't know if I'm going to film that because even though it would be nice to get the word out there about this tournament, you know, some of these guys may not want their face blasted all over the internet. So we'll see what happens with that. They generally have that right around 9/11. And right now, I think I'm going to be able to make that tournament. Some things could pop up because there's a couple of things that are kind of iffy. So we'll see. We'll just have to see about that. But there is a lot of things going on right now, you know. A lot of people are getting ready for the regionals and fishing BFLs. You know, we're getting into the championship seasons for some of the team tournaments. And fall's right around the corner, and it's about to get exciting. And hopefully we're going to catch a bunch of big fish. I just want to catch just a few. 3s, 4s. A 5 would be sweet. And while we're on the subject, we always talk and we always hear people talking about their personal best, their PB. People have always asked me, what is my PB? What is my personal best? My personal best is very low. It's only 6.25. I've caught probably 7 fish that all are right around that 6.2, 6.25 weight. I just can't get over it. I've caught at least 5 of them in tournaments, maybe 6 in different tournaments. And of course, I've had a couple here and there, just pleasure fishing, but I cannot get over that 6 1/4. I don't know what it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy with those 6 1/4s. The first one I caught was at Douglas Lake and caught it on a rattle trap. Really a fun time. But I caught one that was that big in the Kentucky Bass Federation State Championship. And when I put my hand on it, I really thought it was 7, 7.5. And when we weighed it, it was 6.2. And I was like, oh man, or maybe it was 6.19, something like that. It was close. But I just can't get over that 6 1/4 hump. So we're hoping for that next year. There's a possibility of doing it in the fall. But in the fall, man, I like fishing for numbers. And numbers of decent sized fish. I'm not looking for numbers of 10 inchers. I like to catch a bunch of fish quick in the fall. I don't know why. My gears change and it's just so much more fun. Hopefully, you know, that'll work out. But in the meantime, stay tuned. We've got some things happening. I keep wanting to do the pool test. Right now, I keep the cover on the pool because we've had a couple cold nights and we got a little family party coming up. We want to keep that water as warm as we can. So by myself, it's kind of a hassle to go down and take the cover off to do any filming. So after the party, we will probably start doing a bunch of pool testing. We talked about the one that we're going to do for audio, silent crankbaits versus rattling crankbaits. I've been thinking in my mind exactly how we're going to set the camera up, the camera angle. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to set the camera in the middle of the pool and try to bring the bait straight down in line to it so you can kind of see maybe how it hunts as well as the sound. Now, one thing I will tell you, I've already considered this too. Obviously, we don't want to put holes in the liner of the pool, so I'll be using heavy line and I'll be holding the rod tip up so you won't see how deep the baits go, obviously. It's going to be cool to see how they track. It's going to be cool to see how they sound. I think I'm real excited to be doing this, and I can't wait to get the cover off the pool and do that. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Thank you immensely. We did hit a couple of milestones as far as the channel goes. Obviously, the biggest milestone I'm trying to hit, and this is why we always talk about subscribing and everything. There is a point where YouTube puts ads on your channel. And for those ads that are on there, if you hit a milestone, you get paid for those ads. And to me, what that would do would pay for some more video equipment, some trips to some nicer, cooler places to go and film. So I would be putting all of that money back into the channel. It wouldn't be just about, making a little money. I mean, the most I would think about making is maybe 100, 150 a month. It's not exorbitant. I'm not one of those guys like, the Guggen Squad guys. They got millions of followers. But that's why I always preach about follow, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. The milestone for that is 1,000 subscribers, which we're not even close. I think the last I saw we were about 180, which I thank every one of you for subscribing. And as far as watch hours, I have to have 4,000 watch hours of video, which right now I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. I've got almost 500. So I feel pretty good. We just started this channel in February. So we're right, it's August. That's the 6-month mark. We're halfway through 1 year. So I feel pretty good about that from a startup standpoint. And I haven't done anything super, super exciting to make anything go viral. I haven't had any awesome, super awesome fish catches. I did have the one I thought on the river that was pretty exciting. It would have been a lot better if we'd have been able to zoom it in. Some of those whopper plopper catches are pretty exciting. But hopefully we can get something that can get us viral and get us some more views and subscribers. But like I said, to each one of you that subscribed or watched, thank you immensely. Your feedback really helps me to think about going on with this. I've had reservations. I've actually considered whether or not it's time to give up because I felt like maybe people weren't watching. And then somebody will come in the store and tell me that they watched this and watched that and they learned how to do this or they learned how to do that. And it reinvigorates me, gets me fired up again. So thank you all. Like I said, stay tuned and we'll have some more stuff for you.